Hi everybody, welcome to this short tutorial. This is for the KoBo toolbox and specifically associated with the KAZA socioeconomic survey. I'm going to show you how to access that survey, how to download the data from it as well. I'll also show you the survey, and if you need to, I will show you how to add extra questions to your copy of the survey in our account. Okay, so first thing, let's go to the KoBo toolbox and we sign up. We actually have an account already. There's the KAZA KoBo account. So you log in there, and it's actually my version of it, but it has the KAZA socioeconomic survey locked copy, which means that it has core questions in it, and I want to show you how to access those. So if you go to Summary, Collect Data, and then you can see here it says Copy or Open, and if we click Open, that will, actually I was working on this earlier, I'm going to discard that earlier record. Now it opens up our form, and this is the URL that can be put into web browsers or also used in the app. I'm going to allow it to use my location. And there's lots of questions. This is a date question, interview number, country, etc. You can see there's some multiple choice questions. This is our GPS location. If I click there, it automatically saves my location here. And as you can see, there's instructions. So please read the whole survey carefully. But the instructions are especially useful. They tell you how to use the code. So this is recording integers instead of words. So 1 is yes, 0 is no, minus 88 is don't know, minus 99 refuse to answer, and 96 is other, please specify. So you can see there's lots of things about taking part in the survey, human assets. There's this kind of matrix style question where you can use these, or you can write in numbers as well. And if it's got money or amounts, then it will also have a decimal point available. Okay, so you see lots of questions, different areas of questions. So this is down to governance indicators and physical assets, etc. So go all the way down, and eventually after you filled everything out, you can submit it. Okay, so if I go back to the what's called the dashboard, you can see data here is grey, which means no records have been recorded. Now we just recorded one, so if I refresh this, it should go dark, and I want to show you how to download that data. So you click on data, and my one record appears here. I could edit it if necessary, and I click downloads here. I export it. These are ones I downloaded earlier. I export it here, and it says it's processing. When it's ready, I can download it, and then I look in my downloads here, and it opens as an Excel file, and you can see all of the, well, there's only one record here, but that will be all of the information, and these are the data column names. I mention this because it will be useful later. Okay, so let's go back to our survey. Okay, so I've showed you how to look at the back page, how to download the data, and how to look at the survey. If you need to add to add your own questions to the survey, you have the possibility here, and I'm going to show you how to copy the survey and how to add questions to it. Now this is our locked survey, and we don't want you to add questions to this survey, but you can clone it. So you can make your own copy here. You see the way it says clone? If I click here, and again it's the KAZA SC survey, which is locked, I clone it, I make my own version. I'm going to call it SBIN KAZA test. Now I've got my own version of that survey. If you look at the edit, you can see it has all the original questions, but they will be in a grey-blue colour. They won't be accessible to us. It takes a little while to edit. Okay, so you can see date of interview, these are all greyed out, but the top is customizable, and I say this text is customizable here. So for example, I could change that to new text. Okay, but if you need to add your own questions, and please check all the questions first, because it may not be necessary. It's already a long survey, but if it is necessary to add your own questions, I've added a space at the bottom. You can do that. Again, this text is customizable. You can see if it's red here, it means you can change it. If it's grayed out, you can't. So I want to add a question. I make that cross go blue. And let's say we want to add a question about public transport. Here we've got 5.7, 5.8, 5.9. So I want to give everything a question number to make it consistent. I'm going to go 6.1 here. And I will say, do you have access to public transport? Question mark. Okay. Now add a question. When the first thing you do is you have to choose what kind of question it will be. And I mentioned the codes earlier, this yes/no code, and that's using digits, numbers. So I'm going to make this a number type question. So then we can record 1 for yes, 0 for no, etc. I will also put in that y, n in the title. And the settings here, I'm going to change the data column name. You see, data column name here is quite a long and awkward name and doesn't really tell us what we need to know. So I'm going to highlight it and just call it access to public transport. Okay. Don't make things mandatory, as this will just add more work. So we have the question. And do you have access to public transport? Well, we would say if yes, please specify the type. So let's say 6.1.1. If so, what kind of transport? Now again, we have to choose the question type, and I would say let's have it as a text. Let's leave it open so people can put in whatever kind of answer they want for that. So we just have our 2 extra questions here on public transport. That will do for our example. Let's save it. And before we publish this or deploy it, I want to do a preview. So it's always important to test to see if your survey works before you deploy it, or especially before you share it with other people. It's going to ask for my location. I will allow it. And let's go back to the bottom, to the end questions. Do you have access to public transport? If I try and write in yes, it doesn't accept it, but if I put in 1, it does. So good, that's taking numbers. Let's write in bus, and that works. Put validate, it is valid, good. So now it looks like we're ready. I saved it already. Close it here. We're ready to deploy. To deploy means to publish it. So I'm deploying it now. And once it's deployed, you can copy or open it directly. So as I say, you can copy this and put it in a web browser, or use it to upload for the app. Let's open it again. Just one more test to see if it's working. Again, I'll allow it to take my location. Let's just put in the date for a second. And let's go down to the bottom, check our questions. Put in 1. Put in bus again. And submit. Okay. So I've showed you how to submit, how to create questions, and just to say we're back at the normal landing page. The data is grey, but if I refresh that, it should go black. it has a gain. Okay, so I can click on data and I can download as we did last time. I would suggest doing that after more than 10 records have been made, just on a regular basis to download the data. Okay.